Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the BassBlaster, and this is your Seafoam Kistler Top 5 of the Week in Bass Fishing, number 1.
One ping only.
Aye, Captain.
That's right, the sonar wars are on and have been on, and I'm not talking about the negative Nancys on the internet.
Negative Nancy's sabotaging you.
I'm talking about the war between the big 3 sonar companies to be the best, not just in forward-facing sonar, but in the whole sonar deal. Of course, I mean Garmin, Humminbird, and Lowrance, and for now, let's just limit it to forward-facing sonar or live sonar. Now, Garmin, as you know, was first out of the gate with live sonar and has been sort of in the lead ever since because that's what front runners typically do. Not that kind of front runner, only a bass fisherman would get that joke. Anyhow, Garmin LiveScope has been the acknowledged best live sonar, especially with their newer LVS34 transducer. Now, Lowrance's Active Target 2 has been viewed as second best, and that's mostly because it lets guys see their fish and their bait further out, like at 70 plus feet. And that leaves Humminbird Mega Live, which up until now anyway has been seen as the worst of the 3, but I should point out it's the only one that does not need a separate black box processing unit. But Humminbird just launched Mega Live 2. It's a game changer for them and for bass fishermen who love Humminbird Mega 360, Humminbird side scan, Minn Kota trolling motors, and all of that working together. And that, of course, includes Humminbird sponsored pros who have been at a kind of a big disadvantage forward-facing sonar-wise until now. With Mega Live 2, the ability to see fish in your bait is very good. I saw it in person for 2 days on Lake Lanier, and in my opinion, the fish and your bait pop on that screen like they're all made out of tungsten. And distance, here's Davey Height talking about it.
I've got it set up 150 feet away. Here we are 100 feet away. I'm looking at a cane pile, a brush pile, and you see those fish popping and flashing. To be able to see that so far away means everything.
So the short version is that Humminbird Mega Live 2 is probably as good as Garmin now in terms of seeing fish and your bait. It also appears to be better than Garmin and Lowrance at seeing your bait and fish at distance, and it might be number 1 in the ability to find your bait and reacquire your bait, again, especially at long distances. Now, it does need a new transducer, and the cost is about the same as you'd pay for a new Garmin or Lowrance transducer. Very cool that Humminbird is now a big player in live sonar. I gotta believe Garmin and Lowrance engineers are working hard on upping their game too, because
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Yes, we do. Number 2. Now, after Humminbird finished working on Mega Live 2, one of their employees named John walked in and was like, "Need more firepower." Now, John's been known to get a little cray-cray when he's mad, so Humminbird got busy, and the result is called XPLORE. Yep, it's a new unit, screen, whatever you want to call it, and the big deal to me is that it has a way better user interface. The best way to say it is it works and looks like it was designed by a fisherman rather than an engineer. I want to call out 2 quick things. First, waypoint management is way quicker and easier. One cool deal is that you can circle some waypoints with your finger and quickly alter them, delete them, or move them to your phone. Now, that's the second thing I want to highlight, that you can transfer those waypoints and other stuff to and from your phone in literal seconds with the Humminbird One Boat Network app. So you're getting a flavor for it. Everything is faster and easier. The newer Bird Solix and Apex units will also be upgraded to that new user interface. And all future updates will be pushed through the app, which is easier and faster. Now, here's an inside look at how they got engineering to make everything work faster. So I gotta ask, do you dig it, John?
Thank you.
Number 3. Oh! The old Snag Proof Wobbletron frog is back!
Wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble, yeah.
Now, if you never saw or heard of this bait, which is basically a frog with toed legs, it's probably because supply was limited, so everybody who knew about it didn't tell you. I mean, would bass fishermen do that?
So don't ask me no questions.
You know it. Anyhow, it's been out of production for a few years now, but an upgraded version is being released as the Snag Proof Zoo Kick. I think it's coming out early next year, and one of the guys behind bringing it back is this man.
It's Hamner time!
Yep, that's this year's Bassmaster Classic champ, Justin Hamner, who loves that bait, and in fact recently won a team tournament on it. Now the other guy behind it is Frogmaster Bobby Barrack, who I believe invented it in the first place, and I believe he only fishes frogs. His biggest frog tip is,
you are the frog.
be the frog, man. Number 4. You might remember that the beginning of this year's MLF Bass Pro Tour season went like this. Dustin Connell won at Toledo Bend. Then his good bud Jacob Wheeler won at Santee Cooper. Then Dustin won the next one, the Red Crest Championship at Lay Lake. Then Jacob won the next one at Dale Hollow. Man, it was... Now, other than mad skills and being 2 of the hottest bass fishermen on the planet, the one thing all those wins had in common was the new 3.5-inch Rapala Crush City Mooch minnow. Now, the bait wasn't even officially announced yet, and they only had one color of it, but in their hands, for the fish, it was like... And for sure they were, and so were bass fishermen. But the bait wasn't available until this month. Some colors are already sold out in a bunch of places, especially the shad colors. Why? Those tabs on the back make it sexy.
Oh, behave.
You have the tail action right here in the back that has that good high frequency kick, okay? So 10 to 2 or 11 to 1 is probably where he's at, 11 to 1.
Plus it rolls in the water. Dustin said, it perfectly imitates a shad swimming and is the right size for all lakes. I feel like that extra action and subtle vibe of the tail matters when the fish have seen every straight tail minnow on the market. Anyhow, it sounds like if you want them for the pre-spawn, better get them now, man. Number 5. You know what Lake Guntersville is?
The gift that keeps on giving forever.
Yes, it is, and man, was it giving a couple weeks back. A bunch of sticks fished the Guntersville Bass Open, and get this, 5 bags over 30 and 12 over 25 in late November.
That is outrageous.
The guys who won it with just shy of 35 pounds and an almost 8-pound kicker, which was not the big fish of the tournament, were Hayden Marbett and Tucker Smith. They're both Auburn University sticks who have already made national names for themselves. Now, Tucker was half the team that won that $1 million prize at the Bass Pro Shops Open a few years back, and he'll be fishing the Bassmaster Elites next year. And Hayden just won $235K for winning the Toyota Series Championship. But let's get back to Guntersville. If you've never been there, go. It's like fish Disneyland for bass fishermen. Tons of fish, tons of vegetation, tons of bait, so the fish are all fat. Even the small largemouths look overstuffed like spotted bass do. And man, it's just a lot of fun being around a lot of bass fishermen having that much fun. Now, some peeps thought that once Guntersville got outed in the national media years ago, it would get worse. And maybe it did for a time because of more fishing pressure, number 1, and also varying conditions. But man, it's real good now and seems to be getting even better. It shows that the habitat is the main thing. And man, I wish more state DNRs would really understand that. Anyhow, if you thought Guntersville was ever not great, it's back. That's all I got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Seafoam and Kistler. See you next week. God bless you.